Hi, my name is Jola. I'm Planetarium Manager at Palmer's Garden Center, and I will talk to you today about how to plant up patio rose into the clay pot so you can place them in your patio, and how to look after that plant later on so it looks really good this year. Oh my gosh. Once again, you ready? I'm ready. So, I have in here with me big clay pot, which is very important for planting roses because it keeps temperature and moisture inside, so the roots of roses are not going to dry out very quickly. At the bottom of the pot we can put broken pots just to make sure that the plants will never sit in wet, because roses do not like wet feet, and everything, excess of water, will need to escape through the draining hole at the bottom. So I'm going to place those broken pots at the bottom of my pot. It is good to put about 2 inches of broken pots at the bottom of the pot, so there is always excess of water escaping. The best compost for planting up roses is mixed compost for shrubs and roses. However, you can use your just ordinary multi-purpose compost mixed with Johnny number 2. In here I have shrubs and roses mixed compost, which I'm using for my rose. It is good to actually shake all of compost very well, so it's very fine. This compost has got already fertilizer inside, and it will keep roses looking good for next few months. Later on you will need to add fertilizers to the compost. One of the roses which I have chosen to plant up is Designer Sunset. It is a highly recommended rose because of the scent, and also it's a perfect rose to plant up in the pot on your patio because of the size. The plant reach about 50 centimeters, and above my pot it will look this summer like that. It will always help if you put your plant with the pot first into the clay pot, and then top up everything with the compost around, so you have clear idea how the pot will sit inside, how your rose will sit in the pot. When we have idea how actually plant is going to be planted in our pot, the next step is to use something which we have in our shop, and it's called root grow. It's a mycorrhizal fungi. It is a beneficial fungi which creates symbiosis between roots and soil, and it helps plant later on to absorb nutrients, and it absorbs sugars from the plant and give back nutrition and moisture to the plant. So in future in your garden you don't need to probably even use fertilizers, because that will actually benefit altogether. It's a very ecological way of planting up roses. To use this mycorrhizal fungi, you will need to sprinkle the roots of the plant directly during the planting, so you're using this only once, and you can also later on use them on any other shrubs and plants in your garden. It doesn't need to be roses. I have planted my roses in my garden, and I have 9 roses. 8 of them I use mycorrhizal fungi, and I can tell you now that after 5 years there is a huge difference, because the rose is looking 20% bigger than those which I haven't used mycorrhizal fungi, and they are much more healthy. The plants carrying on flowering until December, which I absolutely love. So to use this, I will need to take plant from the pot in here. And as you can see, there is lovely root ball created in here. The plant has been planted in those pots in October, November last year, so it's already created really lovely root system, which is very healthy. And now we'll sprinkle mycorrhizal fungi directly onto the root ball. So it looks like this, and you can also put at the bottom of the pot in that hole, so it has got direct contact with the roots of plant. Later on in the season you can use a fertilizer, and in the pot it is beneficial because after 6 months the plant may look hungry, or once a year in February it is also very good to use that one. If your rose during the season will start changing colors on the foliage, there is obviously something wrong, and there will be many reasons of this. It can be something to do with water, so it might be that while you're watering plant, the water washes out all of nutrition from the pot, and the plant will need more. And to fix this very quickly, you can use something like this, which is Campac. It is liquid fertilizer, which you're actually using during watering, and the best is to use once a week in watering can. The best thing about that fertilizer is it's like vitamins for us, so it is not a strong fertilizer. It will just give quick boost to plant and bring the color to plant. It contains a lot of trace elements which are very beneficial for the plant. Sometimes plants like roses, they will not absorb nutrition from normal fertilizers, so they will need trace element to be able to absorb this. I use this also on honey baskets and in gardening plants as well, so everything is just changing color and it's look a little bit hungry. That is very, very quick fix. To make my pot looking much better on my patio, I'm going to use those lovely ornamental stones. The stones which are at the top of the pot also will protect plant and keep moist inside. Every year roses will attract green flies. That's something which is quite natural and normal, and no one should be really worried too much about this, as long as the plant still has got the color. But to avoid this, you can use Rose Clear Ultra, which is spray which will protect from the green flies as well as fungus diseases like rust and black spots. That's why that's happening. It's because of high humidity in the air, and especially in England, when you have a lot of rain and a lot of drizzle and very little air circulations, that's happening very, very, very often. So roses really need to be placed on patio where there is a lot of fresh air around the plant. If you're planting them up next to the fence, you need to make sure there is sensible space between plant and fence, so the air circulation is around the plant, and that will help preventing fungus disease.